Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. I'm coming at you on October 17th, 2022 at approximately 12:30 p.m. my time, and a lot of stuff's coming at me fast and furious. And I just realized I've got to keep these messages extremely to the point and simple. In the span of like the last hour, I've spoken to some of the top investigative journalists in the country, one of which is from the New York Times, and other folks deeply immersed at the highest levels of government and other scenarios that just effectively, in their own sort of framing, highly technical and so forth, revealed to me what I'm revealing to you. And one thing I've revealed, or realized, I should say, is probably the more appropriate term, that the technocrats, and I've been studying them a lot lately. And if you don't know what technocrats are incredibly important, highly skilled people that know a lot. They went to college, got PhDs, maybe they're in engineering, they know exactly how to build buildings or computer systems or the way governments function and the law. And a lot of them are under the thumb of systems that they have to be um, really kind of careful not to say too much while at the same time trying to find a way to thread the needle. And they can't tell you what I can tell you directly. It's this simple, that both our monetary policy and our fiscal policy, and the monetary policy comes from the Federal Reserve and our fiscal policy comes from Congress, both work for the rich. And I don't want to be too you know, uh, overwhelming in terms of the rich. There's a lot of great people out there that are rich that have, earned their monies by being great in the marketplace and competitors and finding ways to be very successful in a very highly competitive and an ever decreasing sort of size of the pie because of just the way monopolies work that have gone on overdrive. But I can tell you that the entirety of both of those systems just simply serve the outcome of those that are completely in control. They're the hyper rich, the global financial corporations. They're billionaires that are part of that, and then financial institutions that basically play their money in a whole lot of different, very sophisticated ways that ultimately uh, loot the production engine, the capacity of countries, particularly our own in the United States, to provide windfalls for those that are the highest of that particular class. And how do they do that? And why do they do that? Well, because we've created a corrupt political engine that through dark money, these people can utilize the systems, particularly as it relates to white shoe law firms that have completely betrayed the law for a lot of money. And at the end of the day, if the whole thing can operate based on the Federal Reserve not being really regulated by Congress, and Congress not wanting to do the job because Congress is at each other's throats, and that's the way this whole thing is designed, then those who are above the fray, these incredible enterprises that I'm telling you about, have complete control of the system. And so I happen to read two really interesting quotes today that I think summarize this whole thing. One is that the white shoe law firms, this incredible legal juggernaut, if you will, have been playing, really quite frankly, for decades, roulette with our democracy. Yeah, that's definitely probably the most effective tool. And I heard this years ago, actually, but probably the greatest investment that these operations can have is in a politician that can get to the height of the game, whether it's the Senate or in some cases the House of Representatives, or of course the presidency, and and then of course how they jugger configure, I should say, how the Supreme Court works out. You control all those apparatuses of government. Then, of course, you have a government of tyranny at behest of what was once of, for, and by the people. That's all I am. Is just a guy trying to tell you the truth of the largest criminal conspiracy and cover up in history that never ended. And it's hard. It's hard because I want so badly for all of those that are below the line to just simply be citizens, to wise up, to understand how the mechanics work and how it's antithetical to our country. The patriotic thing to do is to stand for liberty and justice. Because, like I've said before, and I'll continue to say, that corruption births and fuels fascism and tyranny. I'm here to tell you that the only way to the New Deal is a clean New Deal. And I'm here to do everything I can to purge corruption. I just simply need millions of you to understand how it works so you can turn the light bulb in your mind to realize that if you're not a part of the system, you're getting played by it. You can find all the answers at www.thecon.tv. I'm all over social media. You can check me out on YouTube at Patrick Lovell Truth Bombs the Con. Please like and subscribe. Obviously on TikTok, and now I'm on a lot of podcasts, growing more every day because we're trying to get a lot of people that have been buried by this situation and also experts to show up at the Federal Reserve to protest peacefully and legally because we've got permits. Because we're not trying to create an insurrection, we're trying to create the resurrection of the American dream. Onwards and upwards, my friends.